Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through the noise to bring you the signal. Today, we're looking at something really special. It's not just a watch. It feels like a whole different way of thinking about time. We're taking a close look at the MeisterSinger Pangaea Aventurine.
Yitzka.
Well, it's quite something. So our mission today, we want to unpack what's going on here, the philosophy behind it, the craftsmanship details, and really what makes this single-hand watch feel so different. We've dug into the sources, and hopefully by the end of this chat, you'll get a real sense of what makes it special, and maybe even how it might make you look at time a bit differently.
Absolutely. And it really is more than just, a nice watch to look at. It's almost an invitation. It invites you, the person wearing it, to maybe reconsider how you relate to time itself. Think about it. Our world is obsessed with seconds, milliseconds even, and this watch just deliberately slows things down. It kind of pushes back against that modern pressure, asking us to just step back, and experience the day flowing. It's a fascinating way to reframe something we usually just take for granted.
Okay, let's unpack that core idea then, the MeisterSinger philosophy, because it really is key to understanding this watch. At its heart, it's all about a more relaxed approach to time. That's the goal.
Right.
And that signature single hand, it's not just for looks, is it? It's how they achieve that feeling. You've got this one single elegant needle moving around. It shows the time almost to the minute, but deliberately leaves out the frantic minute and second hands you see everywhere else.
It's more than just looks, definitely. It's psychological, I think. If you look back historically before maybe the 17th century, most public clocks, even early pocket watches, they often only had an hour hand. Precision wasn't about the exact minute back then. It was about the broader part of the hour. So MeisterSinger isn't just making a watch. They're tapping into something older, almost, like a more primal relationship with time that modern life has kind of steamrollered. The real insight, I think, is how stepping back from that hyper-precision can actually make you more aware of the present.
How so?
Well, it forces you to kind of round up or down mentally, to let go of that constant, almost anxious counting of minutes. It's like an antidote to our always-on, notification-driven world.
That's a really great point. We're so conditioned to need exact times, aren't we? But do we always need it? Or have we just, trained ourselves to think we do? Our sources talk about how this single hand, while it's perfectly usable for daily life, it actively discourages that obsessive tracking.
Yeah.
Think about your own day, how often you glance at your phone or watch. Not just for the time, but for that feeling of being on schedule, or maybe falling behind. This watch, just by its design, it sort of gently nudges you away from that anxiety. It encourages a broader, maybe more mindful sense of the hour. It's subtle, but I imagine quite profound.
Exactly. It's almost like a small act of resistance. When every app is screaming for your attention, every second feels accounted for, the single hand just says, hey, you have time.
Right. Relax.
It's not about ignoring your schedule completely, of course, but it's about finding some calm within it. It makes you ask, does knowing it's 10:37 versus, say, around 10:30 really change what you're doing right now? For most things, probably not. It taps into that desire for a bit more mental breathing room.
And a philosophy like that needs a solid base, right? So what's actually powering this thing?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the technical side. The base watch is the Pangaea Automatic. And this isn't a totally new model for MeisterSinger. It has a bit of history. Our research shows it evolving from 2013 when I introduced the Pangaea date. That one added calendar functions to the single hand idea. Then, fast forward to 2022, they did a limited edition called the Pangaea 365. That was time only, really clean, minimalist. It had this fantastic vintage feel to it. Apparently, it was hugely popular, so much so that they made that time only Pangaea concept permanent in 2023.
Ah, okay.
So this new Aventurine version we're looking at, it builds on that really well-liked foundation.
And the case itself shows some real thought. You're looking at a 40-millimeter diameter. That's a pretty versatile size, works for most people. It's fully polished stainless steel, and it has this sizable fluted onion crown.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Classic touch.
Exactly. It looks great, feels good to use. The bezel around the dial is kept really slim, which is smart because it gives you this wide open view of the dial through a domed sapphire crystal.
Does the dome distort things a bit?
Yeah, in a nice way. Gives it that slightly vintage look at the edges. It's also got 50 meters of water resistance, so, perfectly fine for daily wear. And importantly, an exhibition case back.
Ah, so you can see the movement.
Precisely. It's not just functional. It's a nod to traditional watchmaking. Lets you see the mechanics inside, connects you to the heart of the watch.
That's always a plus for watch enthusiasts. Now, the engine itself. What's under the hood here?
So what's fascinating here is the movement they chose. It's powered by a Sellita SW200. Now, for anyone not familiar, the Sellita SW200 is, well, it's highly respected, simple but really solid, and importantly, easy to service.
Okay.
It's often seen as a really robust alternative to the perhaps better-known ETA 2824. This specific one has a personalized rotor, which is a nice MeisterSinger touch. Spec-wise, it's got 26 joules, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, that's 8 ticks a second, so the hand moves smoothly, and gives you a decent 38-hour power reserve.
Pretty standard, reliable stuff then.
Exactly. And the significance of choosing that kind of movement, especially for MeisterSinger's whole philosophy, it just makes sense. A watch designed to encourage a relaxed, long-term view of time. It wouldn't feel right if the engine inside was, like, super delicate or hard to maintain.
Good point.
This choice reinforces that idea of lasting quality, an enduring mechanism for your, unhurried journey through time. It's about building something that will be with you for years, not just a fleeting trend. It feels like a commitment to longevity, just like their commitment to a slower pace.
Okay, now, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The star of the show, you could say, the dial. It's made from genuine aventurine. And wow, when you see pictures, it really does look like holding a piece of the night sky.
It's stunning, isn't it?
If you haven't seen it before, aventurine is basically a type of quartz, a stone. It's known for being kind of translucent, but the key thing is these tiny, tiny mineral flakes inside, like natural glitter almost. They create this shimmering, starry effect. It genuinely looks like a deep blue, star-filled sky, especially this dark blue version they've used.
And it's important to stress, like our sources do, this is natural stone. It's not the man-made aventurine glass you sometimes see. That's different.
Right. Authenticity matters here.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes about the natural beauty they wanted to capture. And making a dial from this, it's tricky. This precious natural stone, as they call it, needs to be cut, ground, polished with incredible precision. Think about getting it perfectly flat and thin enough for a watch dial without losing those sparkles.
Yeah, must be delicate work.
Very. It's real artistry, bringing that beauty of the starry sky to the wrist. A little piece of the cosmos, always there.
It forms an amazing backdrop. And the details on top are just as carefully chosen. You've got these gold-colored numerals. They're multi-printed, apparently, which gives them depth. And they really stand out against that deep blue. The typography, the font they use feels very vintage, almost like an old scientific measuring tool or something. And here's a subtle thing I liked. Instead of the usual lines for every 5 minutes, they use these fine dots. They just sort of softly mark the time passing, again, reducing that feeling of urgency. Apparently, these elements echo their popular 365 series watches, so there's a nice design connection there.
That makes sense, keeping a consistent aesthetic.
And then, of course, you have that classic white, needle-shaped hand sweeping across it all, doing a single-handed job of telling the time.
And, this raises an interesting point. How do all these specific design choices, that starry dial, the vintage font, the little dot markers, how do they actually reinforce that relaxed, non-frenetic idea? It's clearly more than just looking good. It's all working together to support the philosophy.
How do you mean?
Well, the starry dial itself, right, deep blue, twinkling inclusions, naturally makes you think of vastness, cosmic time, things that move slowly, grandly. When you look at stars, you don't usually worry about the exact minute passing. You contemplate something bigger.
True.
And the vintage font, the subtle dots, they don't scream at you. They invite you to just gently glance at the time rather than, dissecting every second. It's all part of nudging you away from that frantic pace. It makes telling time feel more like quiet observation than a rushed check-in.
Reading time in a more analog way, maybe. Less digital.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, moving to the finishing touches. The strap, it comes on a Cognac leather strap. Looks quite nice in the photos. Our info says it's cowhide with oak tanning, which usually means it's durable and develops a nice patina. Secured with just a standard steel pin buckle. Keeps things simple, timeless.
Understated, yeah. Matches the overall feel.
And good news for people interested, this isn't a limited run. It's joining their permanent collection, which means it should be more accessible. The price mentioned is EUR 2,990, which, for a watch with a natural stone dial and this kind of unique approach, feels like it's in that accessible luxury category.
Definitely. So if we try and sort of connect all these pieces, what we've talked about today really paints a picture of something quite distinct. You've got this unique philosophy, the single hand promoting a different relationship with time.
Right, the core idea.
Then it's built on a solid, reliable technical base, the Pangaea case, the dependable Sellita inside, and then the real showstopper, that artistic, historically inspired aventurine dial, bringing the night sky right onto your wrist.
Yeah.
So, the MeisterSinger Pangaea Aventurine. It's not just another watch, it really offers a different perspective on timekeeping itself. It kind of invites you, the listener maybe, to think about your own relationship with time. What does this deep dive tell us about valuing quality, maybe artistry, choosing a different pace in this crazy fast tech world?
What does it suggest?
Well, maybe it suggests that sometimes the most sophisticated answer isn't more information faster. Maybe it's less, presented beautifully, something that compels us to engage with our moments more consciously, perhaps.
That's an interesting way to frame it. It definitely presents a unique proposition. I do wonder, though, for someone whose job really does demand tracking every second, maybe a pilot or a doctor,
Yeah.
is this more of a weekended watch?
All right.
Or does its charm somehow win out even then? It's a fun thought experiment.
It is, yeah. Context matters.
Okay, so just to quickly recap our deep dive for you today, we've explored the unique single-hand philosophy of this MeisterSinger Pangaea Aventurine. We look at its solid technical roots in the Pangaea line. We talked about that absolutely stunning, natural aventurine dial, the starry sky effect, and those thoughtful, vintage-inspired design touches that pull it all together.
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. In a world that's constantly pushing us to track every second, always aware of deadlines, of moments slipping away, what if the true measure of time isn't actually in dividing it up so minutely? What if it's more about how we consciously experience its unhurried, beautiful flow? Just consider how that perspective might subtly shift your day-to-day awareness, simply by glancing at your wrist and seeing the vastness of time instead of just its relentless ticking.
That's a really profound question to end on. Something to definitely think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the MeisterSinger Pangaea Aventurine. We hope it gave you some interesting things to consider. Maybe even look at how reading time differently could affect your day. Until next time.